Chuck E. Cheese. Back when I was a kid, this was the place to be outside of being at home playing video games. Carrying those small cups around filled with the Chuck E. Cheese tokens, running from game to game, eating the admittedly mediocre but still delicious to kid me pizza if the family and I were there for a birthday party or an extended stay. Good times. Although there were tons of games for me to choose from whenever I went there, I can't recall any of them by name today. Aside from one game in particular that I made damn sure I got to play at least once each and every time I went there. Burner Climax. The arcade cabinet had a flight stick and throttle with corresponding buttons for your cannon and missiles, a separate stick for your throttle and brake, and the seat would even move around a little. You'd lean to the left and right depending on your movements, though there was an option to turn that feature off during a play session for anyone who didn't want that. Personally, I always kept that on for that extra sprinkling of immersion. Like I said earlier, every visit I would play that game at least once. Eventually though, as I got older, Chuck E. Cheese became more not for me and my family. And before I knew it, my family and I stopped going there. As a result, I never got to play Burner Climax again. I hadn't been made aware of the console ports of the game, otherwise I would have grabbed it for my Xbox 360. But the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 ports, along with a mobile port, are unavailable nowadays, having all been taken down years ago, presumably due to licensing issues. I had my opportunity to play this game before it disappeared from radar, and I did so. I'm sure if I did some arcade cabinet hunting, I could either find one online or find some kind of arcade place that still has it, but in terms of easily accessible and affordable means of access to this game, that possibility had disappeared. At least, that was the case for a long while. One day, I suddenly got a craving, an intense urge to see if there was any feasible way to revisit this arcade game that was a big part of my childhood. And luckily for me, once I did some looking around, it didn't take me long to acquire a copy of this game. Surely there would be some kind of hitch along the way. No way the game would just work right away as soon as I booted it up, right? Hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst, I added the PS3 controller port of this game over to RPCS3 on my Steam Deck, I booted the game up, and
Burner Climax.
No f***ing way! It works! It actually works! Burner Climax, you're as beautiful as the day I lost you. Look at the jets, look at the action, look at all these missiles, oh my god, why are there so many missiles? True, fast-paced, intense, on the edge of your seat, never getting a chance to breathe action. For anyone not familiar with this game, Burner Climax is an on-rails arcade flying game where you take on the role of Jaguar 1, leader of Jaguar Squadron, to take part in an operation to stop a massive military force from starting a nuclear war. You get to take control of either an F-14D Super Tomcat, F-15E Strike Eagle, or FA-18E Super Hornet and lay waste to the enemies that come across your path with your cannon and missiles. Occasionally, you'll come across special objectives such as shooting down prototype and stealth bombers, shooting down enemies that are going after allies, and more that can add to your score if completed successfully. You've got a limited number of lives for any one attempt. If all of your lives are gone, you can try again for however many credits you have for your run before it's officially game over. Take down enough enemies, and you'll be able to climax, which sounds really sus now that I say that out loud. Climaxing will slow down time and give you unlimited missiles for a brief period, allowing you to wipe out a whole group of enemies much easier. The enemies aren't just going to sit there and take it though. They're going to fight back. Single missiles, groups of more specialized, highly accurate missiles. Lighthouse from Ace Combat 7 and late game Project Wingman Conquest runs are being given a run for their money. Make it to the end, and you win. Along the way, you can also earn extra options for simply playing the game. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think these extra options were in the arcade version of this game. Or if they were probably there for the developer's sake or something like that. In any case, these extra options are a mix of buffs and nerfs. Buffs include the gun firing at all times, automatically firing missiles as soon as enemies spawn, taking no damage whatsoever, and there being no cooldown on climaxing, to name a few. Man, I wish I had the no cooldown for climaxing buff unlocked IRL. Gotta work on myself some more. Possible nerfs include reducing the damage of your gun, setting your aircraft speed to be as slow as possible, only having a limited amount of missiles, and even only having 1% health per life, to name a few. And that's all this game has to offer. A short and sweet one that doesn't take very long to beat, but has some replay value to it to fly the different aircraft and to unlock all of the extra options. I decided to make this shorter video because while there isn't a lot of depth to Afterburner Climax, given it's a port of a short and sweet game you'd find at an arcade, it just felt so good to be able to finally play this game again. So good that I wanted to make this video on it. No in-depth video essay, no review, just me expressing my immense joy at the fact that I got to relive a childhood classic of mine thanks to the power of emulation. Now, unfortunately, I can't directly link to where I was able to acquire this game, but it shouldn't take that long to find it if you want to give this game a try for yourself. If you're looking for a crazy, fast-paced, on-rails arcade flying game, then I would absolutely recommend Afterburner Climax if you know where to look for it.